Success isn't a one-time event. It's not something that just shows up at your door overnight. Success is a habit, a product of what you do every single day. Look at any high achiever and you'll notice a pattern. Their days are structured around purpose. Not perfection, purpose. They don't wait for motivation. They build systems. They don't chase big wins. They stack small victories day after day. It's the morning you decide to wake up early and read. The workout you commit to even when you're tired, the hour you dedicate to learning instead of scrolling. Those small, often invisible actions, that's where success is born. Your routine defines your future. What you repeatedly do becomes who you are, so if you want success, don't wait for it. Design your day around it. When we think of success, we often imagine massive milestones, starting a business, writing a best-selling book, becoming financially free, or mastering a skill. But what we overlook is how those achievements are not the result of one giant leap. Instead, they are built piece by piece through small, consistent habits practiced over time. Every great outcome is the product of hundreds or thousands of tiny decisions. It's waking up a bit earlier to read instead of hitting snooze. It's choosing water over soda, a 30-minute workout over an hour of TV, or 10 pages of a book over endless scrolling on social media. Each of these choices may seem insignificant in isolation, but collectively, they become the foundation of long-term success. The reason small habits are so powerful is because they are sustainable. Big, dramatic changes are often short-lived because they demand a level of effort that's hard to maintain. But small, manageable actions are easier to repeat, and when done consistently, they create momentum. This momentum builds discipline, and over time, discipline builds success. Consider the idea of compound, commonly used in finance but just as relevant in personal growth. A single coin doesn't make you rich, but saving a coin every day for years certainly will. Similarly, one day of writing doesn't make you an author, but writing daily for a year will give you a manuscript. Success is not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things regularly. Moreover, small habits train your identity. The more you show up for yourself, day after day, even in small ways, the more you begin to see yourself as someone who is committed, disciplined, and worthy of the results you seek. This shift in self-perception is what fuels even greater consistency and leads to even bigger outcomes. By focusing on mastering your small daily actions, you're not just working towards success. You are becoming the kind of person who succeeds. In the pursuit of success, there's a common mistake many people make. They rely on bursts of intense effort rather than developing a steady rhythm of consistent action. It's easy to be motivated for a day, a week, or even a month. It's easy to go all in at the beginning of a new goal, driven by excitement and ambition. But what truly separates the successful from the unsuccessful is not how hard they can work once. It's how consistently they can show up, especially when motivation fades. Intensity can give you a head start, but it's consistency that carries you to the finish line. Think about someone who works out for 3 hours once a week versus someone who exercises for 30 minutes every day. Over time, it's the consistent person, the one who shows up daily, who builds better health, strength, and stamina. The same principle applies to all areas of life: studying, saving money, learning a skill, growing a business, or even nurturing relationships. Consistency builds habits, and habits build your life. When you do something consistently, even if the action is small, it becomes automatic. It weaves itself into your daily rhythm. You don't need to force it. It becomes who you are. On the other hand, intensity is often fueled by emotion, by hype, pressure, or urgency. And when those emotions fade, so does the effort. Another key advantage of consistency is that it gives you time to improve. Repetition allows you to refine your approach, identify mistakes, and get better with each attempt. You're not relying on one big breakthrough. You're building layers of progress. Each day adds a brick to the foundation of your goal, making it stronger and more stable. There's also a psychological benefit to being consistent. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you build trust in your own ability to commit and follow through. This self-trust is incredibly empowering. It keeps you grounded when challenges arise and helps you stay the course when results are slow to appear. Intensity burns bright, but it often burns out quickly. Consistency might seem less glamorous, but it is sustainable, reliable, and ultimately far more powerful. Every day, we are faced with a constant stream of choices: what to wear, what to eat, when to work, whether to exercise, when to start a task, and how to spend our time. While each decision might seem small on its own, they collectively drain our mental energy, especially when we have to make them repeatedly. This phenomenon is known as decision fatigue, a decline in decision-making ability after a long session of decision-making. What many people don't realize is that success is not just about working hard, it's about managing your mental resources wisely. And one of the most effective ways to conserve mental energy is by establishing a solid daily routine. A routine minimizes the number of decisions you need to make throughout the day because it creates a predictable structure. When you know exactly what you're doing at certain times, when you wake up, when you eat, when you exercise, when you work, you free up mental space to focus on more important decisions, like how to solve a problem, where to innovate, or how to grow your career or business. You're no longer wasting energy deciding if you should do something. You've already decided when and how. This is why many highly successful people simplify parts of their lives. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day. Athletes follow strict training schedules. Writers set fixed hours to write. These aren't just quirky habits. They are deliberate strategies to reduce mental clutter and increase focus. Additionally, a routine helps reduce procrastination. When you don't have a set plan, it's easy to delay tasks, get distracted, or avoid doing things that require effort. But when your routine is clear and consistent, you train your brain to transition smoothly from one activity to the next, without internal debates or negotiation. Over time, this makes you more productive, disciplined, and mentally resilient. Another benefit is that routines create a sense of stability in an unpredictable world. Life can be chaotic, challenges, surprises, and interruptions happen. But having a core routine provides a foundation you can return to. It gives you a sense of control, even when everything else feels uncertain. In the end, your brain is one of your most valuable assets. Just like a muscle, it performs better when it's not overworked. By designing and sticking to a daily routine, you're not only becoming more efficient, you're protecting your cognitive energy so it can be used where it matters most. Discipline is often seen as something you either have or you don't, but the truth is, discipline is not an innate trait. It's a skill, and like any skill, it's developed through consistent practice. And the most effective way to grow discipline is through your daily routine. Every day, life gives you countless opportunities to practice self-control, choosing to get out of bed when your alarm rings, resisting distractions while you work, eating healthy instead of giving in to cravings, or sticking to a plan when it would be easier to quit. These small, seemingly mundane decisions are actually powerful training grounds for discipline. Each time you do what you should do instead of what you want to do in the moment, you strengthen your mental muscles. Like lifting weights, the more you do it, the stronger you get. What's important to understand is that discipline doesn't begin with grand gestures. It doesn't start with extreme diets, intense workouts, or 16-hour workdays. It begins with showing up. It begins with making your bed, following your schedule, and committing to daily habits that align with your goals. These small acts of commitment accumulate. Over time, they condition your mind to prioritize long-term rewards over short-term comfort. Daily discipline also builds resilience. There will be days when you don't feel like working, when you're tired, unmotivated, or discouraged. But when you've developed discipline through your daily routine, you learn to push through those moments. You stop relying on motivation, which is temporary and unreliable, and instead operate from commitment, which is consistent and steady. Moreover, discipline brings a sense of inner peace. It creates order in your life. When you know what you need to do and you consistently follow through, you reduce stress and anxiety. You no longer live in chaos or guilt because your actions align with your values and goals. This alignment creates clarity, confidence, and momentum. It's also important to note that discipline is not about being rigid or harsh with yourself. True discipline is about self-respect. It's about recognizing your potential and choosing the actions that will help you reach it, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about setting boundaries, not to restrict your life, but to protect your energy and your future. In essence, discipline is built one decision at a time, one day at a time. It is not something you find, it's something you grow. And the most fertile ground for that growth is your daily routine. One of the clearest ways to understand what truly matters to a person is not by asking them what their goals are, but by observing how they spend their time each day. Actions always reveal priorities more honestly than words. You might say that health is important to you, but if exercise and nutrition never appear in your daily routine, then they aren't really being prioritized. You might claim you want to write a book, start a business, or learn a new skill, but if those efforts are constantly being pushed aside by distractions or less important tasks, then your time is not aligned with your true intentions. Every day is like a mirror. It reflects your values, your discipline, and your direction. The hours you spend, how you spend them, and what you focus on are not random. They are choices. And over time, those choices shape your results and ultimately your life. This is why being intentional about your daily routine is so important. When you design your day around your true goals and values, you stop drifting and start directing your life. Instead of reacting to what comes your way, you start responding with purpose. You make time for the things that matter most, even if it means sacrificing comfort, entertainment, or instant gratification. Often, people claim they don't have time to pursue their dreams, but in many cases, it's not about a lack of time. It's about misplaced priorities. Hours are spent on social media, binge watching shows, or caught in unproductive habits. When you truly want something, you find a way to fit it into your day. It may not always be easy, and it may require rearranging your life, but if it's a real priority, it deserves a place in your schedule. Your day is your most valuable currency. Unlike money, time can't be earned back. Every 24 hours you're given is a fresh opportunity to invest in the life you want to build. And the way you structure that time says everything about what you believe is worth pursuing. Additionally, your routine doesn't just reveal your current priorities, it also shapes them. The more you invest time into something, the more it grows in importance. This is why starting small daily habits can lead to big life changes. When you dedicate time consistently to something, even just success rarely comes in a single breakthrough moment. It is almost always the result of steady progress gained through repetition. When you engage in a task repeatedly, you generate momentum, and that momentum becomes a powerful force that pushes you forward even when motivation runs low or challenges arise. Momentum isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. And the only way to create it is through consistent repetition. Think of it like pushing a heavy wheel. At first, it takes a lot of effort to get it moving. But once it starts to roll, each push becomes easier, and soon the wheel is turning on its own with minimal effort. Your routine works the same way. The beginning is hard, new habits feel uncomfortable, results are slow, and doubts creep in. But as you repeat those actions day after day, something begins to shift. What once felt like a struggle becomes part of your natural rhythm. You build speed, confidence, and capacity. Repetition also deepens mastery. The more you repeat a skill, whether it's writing, coding, training, or speaking, the more precise and effective you become. Each repetition refines your technique, sharpens your focus, and reveals new layers of understanding. Without repetition, there can be no refinement, and without refinement, success remains distant. Beyond technical growth, repetition rewires your brain. Neuroscience shows that repeated behavior strengthens neural pathways, making it easier to perform that action again in the future. This is how habits are formed, not by doing something once, but by doing it over and over until it becomes automatic. When your brain becomes familiar with a routine, it requires less conscious thought and effort to complete it, which frees up energy for creativity, problem solving, and innovation. Momentum also fuels motivation. While many people wait to feel motivated before taking action, the reality is that action itself is what generates motivation. The more you do, the more progress you see, and the more progress you see, the more motivated you become. It's a feedback loop, and repetition is the engine that keeps it running. Momentum doesn't guarantee that every day will be easy, but it does mean that every day will carry you forward a little more than the last. It turns effort into habit, struggle into skill, and intention into achievement, and it all starts with the simple decision to repeat your actions over and over until success becomes inevitable. There's a common myth that success is something you stumble upon, a lucky break, a perfect opportunity, or a sudden stroke of genius. But in reality, success is not discovered. It is constructed piece by piece through intentional effort, discipline, and time. It's not a treasure waiting to be found. It's a structure you build every single day through your choices, habits, and mindset. The idea that someone can find success implies that it's outside of their control, something that happens to them rather than something they create. But if you look closely at anyone who has truly succeeded, whether in business, the arts, sports, or personal development, you'll find a foundation of consistent daily work. Behind every overnight success are years of unnoticed effort, late nights, quiet sacrifices, and an unwavering commitment to a routine that supports growth. Success is built through clarity, knowing what you want and why. It's built through planning, breaking your goals into actionable steps. It's built through perseverance, showing up even when you feel like giving up. And perhaps most importantly, it's built through repetition, doing the work day in and day out, often without recognition or immediate reward. Building success also requires patience. Just like constructing a building, it doesn't happen in a single day. You have to lay the foundation, brick by brick, and trust the process. Some days the progress is visible and encouraging. Other days it feels slow or invisible. But every action adds to the structure. Each good decision, each disciplined hour, each lesson learned from failure. These are the materials of success. Additionally, when you build success rather than expect to find it, you develop a mindset of ownership. You understand that your life is not determined by luck or chance, but by your own effort and attitude. This empowers you to keep going when circumstances are hard and to adapt when things don't go as planned. You're not waiting for the stars to align. You're laying the bricks yourself one by one. And just like any structure that's built properly, success that is built through consistent routine and discipline is far more stable and lasting than anything handed to you. When you've done the work yourself, you not only value the outcome more, but you're also prepared to sustain it, improve it, and protect it.